Let's do this. Let's start on our backs, okay? Have your blocks nearby. And lift your hips up and slide your block underneath the flat part of your back, like the sacrum, not digging into your butt, on the lowest setting, okay? So just like a little bit lift. And take bridge like this. So just like kind of like a very low supported passive bridge. Actually take your feet wide and let your knees knock in for just a moment. And just breathe. If that doesn't feel good, just have the feet steering forward and the knees up. And have the palms turning up. Scoop up the shoulder blades. Find neutral with your neck. Close your eyes for a brief moment. And let's just breathe. Draw in a deep inhale breath. Exhale loudly out through your mouth. And then find your natural flow. Just breathing even, steady, smooth inhalations followed by exhalations. Blink your eyes open, hug your right knee in on the block, keep the left foot down, and just make like a little shape here. Relax the shoulders down the back and just pause. Yeah. And just feel how it feels to do this simple little movement with the block supporting underneath you. Yeah. Take your right ankle over the left thigh, keep the left foot down, extend the right, flex the right foot strong, and then actively, you can use your hands if you want, but just encourage the right thigh to drop and make a shape of ankle to knee, but keeping the support of the block underneath the lower back, the left foot grounded. So just gentle movements. Hug the right knee in again, give it a squeeze. Take ankle to knee on your back, flex the foot. External rotation. One more, hug the right knee in, give it a good little squeeze. Make ankle to knee with the left foot staying down and the right thigh just fanning open. Take the right foot down, pause. Lift the left leg up, give it a little squeeze. Just like a little tug, just pause here for a moment. Steer the right foot forward, the right knee forward, and just feel. Sometimes you feel a lot, sometimes you don't feel so much. Don't get too worried. Good. Ankle to knee, flex the foot, externally rotate the thigh. See if you could do it without using your hands, but sometimes if you're really tight, you may need to encourage the thigh to drop open. Keep the right foot grounded and the right knee steering forward. Just think passive, subtle movements, but creating a shape in your body. Hug the left knee and give it a good little squeeze, just like a little tug. Flex the foot, ankle to knee, flex it, and extend that thigh away from you. So you really create that shape. One more, hug the knee and give it a little squeeze, a little tug. Ankle to knee, foot stays grounded, left thigh encourages an opening. Lower the left foot down. Good. Lift the hips up, remove the block. Hug the knees in towards the chest. Give them a good little squeeze. Take a happy baby on your back early here. Flex the feet, broaden the shoulders, lengthen the tailbone. Hug the knees in, rock and roll a couple times. Bring yourself up, come to a tabletop position. Yeah. Set it up here so your hands are directly underneath the shoulders, index fingers are forward, curl the toes under. I changed the location of my mat so it looks like I'm in a tropical rainforest. Sink the spine down and look forward. Exhale, round and look in. Good. Try it again. Inhale, sinking the spine down and looking forward. Exhale, round and look in. Again, inhale, sinking the spine down and looking forward. Connect. Exhale, round and look in. Come to a flat back neutral position. Good. Walk the hands out a little further in front. Lift the hips, downward facing dog. Spread the toes nice and wide. And just breathe here. Yeah. Yeah. Take up as much space on your mat this morning. Bend a lot behind your knees if you feel tight. Yeah. You can spread your toes wide. Broaden the outer shoulders, plug down through your thumb, your index finger, your baby finger. And let yourself just feel the effects of just holding this really simple pose. There's so much benefit in this one basic posture. Let your head just kind of detach down from your body. Relax your jaw, relax your face. Notice where you hold on to tension, because no matter what you do, it creeps up on you. So see if you can just draw a deep breath in. On the exhale, just find stillness in your dog where you can just really hold a firm shape of your body. If you feel like there's a lot of weight dumping down into the shoulders, really breathe your hips way up off your shoulders this morning. So think weight back, head long, neck neutral. Plug down through your thumb, your index finger, your baby finger, and then roll forward to plank. In one swoop, plank position. A straight line of energy if you can. You can always drop your knees if you need to, no problem at all. Find a position to focus on, a spot to dristi, a focal point. Plug down through your hands. Broaden across the upper shoulder blades. Feel the grip of your outer triceps, biceps, your outer hips, your outer ankles. Squeeze into the midline of your body. That's known as the center line. Bring a little bit more weight forward onto your tippy toes. Good. Drop your knees down so they're behind you on an angle. Keep the toes curled into the mat. Lower halfway to a supported push-up and pause. If you're going too deep and you feel like you're dumping into your shoulders, just make a micro movement. Re-straighten your arms to supported plank. Lift the knees up so you're back in plank position. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Try that again. Roll forward in one swoop, plank position. Drop your knees so they're behind you on an angle. Lower as much as you feel that you can maintain a version of a push-up with your knees down. So a micro bend may be all that you've got for today. Re-straighten your arms to a supported plank position. Lift the knees up off the ground. Pause. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. One more. One clean swoop, plank. Knees drop on an angle. Halfway to your version of a push-up. Less is more. Re-straighten to find your supported plank. Lift the knees to plank position. Hips up and back, down dog. Step your right foot forward behind your right wrist. Come to your fingertips. Drop now the back knee on an angle. Be here for a moment. When you're in this position, if you feel like your hands down on the ground dump you forward, you want to slide blocks underneath your hands to encourage a lift, right? I'd rather you do that, right? Work on your alignment here so you know your knee and your ankle are aligned. The back thigh in a nice angle, that's going to give you the psoas release. Yeah. And then start to grow your arms up towards the sky so you're in this little supported lunge. Good. If being more forward, like I'm demonstrating here, gives a little tug on your lower back, I recommend pulling out of the posture like I just did. So yeah, so just kind of pull out and think more straight up and down with your back knee. If being a little bit more forward is okay for you, then it's going to give you more of a little stretch to the back thigh. Okay, so you're going to have to just play with this. Good. You're going to wrap your left arm underneath your right arm. Good luck finding that. I feel very backwards today. Yes. Good. Rather than tugging down on your elbows, lift up, because this is going to give you a nice stretch to the upper thoracic spine. In between the shoulder blades is what we're looking for. Good. You're going to slowly start to straighten your right leg on track and flex the foot. So the leg now goes straight up and down, and you're going to round and round the spine so it looks like this. Now, you may not go that far. You may feel like you're going to flop over. That's the point. Grip your right hip in strong, so you should feel this pretty intently in your right hamstring. You're going to pull your torso back up. Do this slow. You're going to rebend your front thigh, get heavy in your hips, and dump down. That's it. Try it again. So you're going to inhale. You may only straighten a little bit. That's okay. Start to straighten the leg and flex the foot, and then start to round into it like a little cat and cow. Yeah. Round. So the shoulder blades round and you just fold a little over your front thigh. Start to lift your torso back up towards the sky and then rebend the front thigh. Pause. Sweep your arms out and up towards the ceiling. Hands come down to frame your front foot. Lift the back kneecap up, tent the left fingertips, and peel your right arm open. If you need to do this with your back knee down this morning, that's always an option. You can also slide a block underneath your left hand if you feel like the floor is super far. Grip the right hip in super strong, activate your back leg, and twist only where there's little ribs in your body. Look up. Right hand comes down, step to a down dog. Good. In down dog, roll forward plank. Halfway to your version of a push-up. Up dog or baby cobra. I'll demonstrate what a cobra looks like. The hands are a little further back than you would anticipate. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. The left foot lands behind the left wrist. The back knee drops. Pause. Be on your fingertips. Don't be in such a rush. Set it up for success for you and your body. Grip the left hip under. Feel like you're leading a little with your heart and your chest. You're not dumping down. And then grow the branches of your arms up. Yeah. And then play with this. Maybe you need to back out of it a little bit. Maybe you can be a little heavier in that front thigh. Everyone's a little different. Each side's a little different. Right arm's gonna wrap underneath the left. Rather than tugging down, lift the elbows up. Be here for a sec. And just feel. Keep the elbows lifted. Start to straighten the left leg on track. Flex the foot. Grip the left hip in. And then do a little round if you can. Even if it's just a little bit, round. Bring the torso up nice and slow. Rebend the front leg. Good. Try it again. You're going to straighten the left leg on track, make this slow movement, and then round into that. Lift the torso up and rebend. Let's do one more. Straighten the left leg, flex the foot, grip the hip, round into it. Pull the torso up, rebend. Sweep the arms up towards the sky. You're in a supported low lunge. Take the hands down to frame your front foot. Integrate the back leg, tent the right fingertips. Peel the left arm open, easy twist. Know if you need to back out of this, if lower back is sensitive, if something's going on, a block underneath the hand, a dropping of the back knee. Create what you need to make the practice work. Look sideways, look up. One more big breath in. Left hand down, step to a dog. Roll forward plank. Halfway to your version of a push-up, up dog or cobra. You decide what feels best in your body. Press through the hands and the feet. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Deep breath in. Full giant breath out. Look to the top of the mat. Step, step to get there this morning. Long spine when you arrive. Weight is forward. Hands can always slide to your shins. That's cool. Exhale, fold. Root to rise. Come all the way up. Drag it to prayer. Drop your arms. Just a few sunnies to kind of clean it up. Arms slide straight up towards the sky. Look up a little. Dive over, bend knees, forward fold. Let your head go. Come to the fingertips. Set it up. Step, step to plank. Decide if you're adding in push-ups or back bend. So lower halfway. Drag yourself to your version of a back bend that works. Not everyone's comfortable with this up dog. Hips up and back, down dog. To be quite honest, I kind of do like a half up dog. I don't go so deep because I feel it in my low back. Look to the top, step, step, or float your feet there. Long spine, keep your weight forward. Exhale, fold. Root to rise, come all the way up. Drag it to prayer. Drop your arms. Just make this feel smooth and easy, okay? Arms slide straight up towards the sky. Dive over, bent knees, forward fold. Let your head go. Come to the fingertips, set it up. Step, step. Maybe you want to float through your push-up. Up dog is smooth. Shoulders draw down the back the best that you can. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Each one starts to get a little better, clearing out the cobwebs. Press and anchor through your hands. Keep your arms straight. Step or float to the top. Get there light. Long spine, weight is forward. Exhale, fold. Root to rise, come all the way up. Drag it to prayer. drop your arms. One more, arms slide up, look up a little, dive over bent knees, forward fold, let your head go. Come to the fingertips, prepare it. Step, float, crawl, vinyasa. Up dog is smooth, hips up and back, downward facing dog. Breathe your right leg up and back, three-legged down dog, pause. Grip the left hip in, solid and even through your shoulders, through your hands. Come forward in a three-legged plank so the foot hovers the mat, and then hug the right knee in and up and pause. Scoop out the belly. Arms are straight up and down and your eyes fix a little forward. Step the right foot all the way forward and through. Arrange the feet so they're set up long enough and wide enough, and then on your breath, rise, high lunge. Steer the hips forward. No, you can always modify here. You can always drop your back knee, that's fine. Integrate the arms. Let the eyes move a little up without your neck dropping back. That's the secret trick. Find breath, find stillness. Good, bring your arms forward, wrap your left arm underneath your right, lift the elbows up and step up into an eagle early on here. Wrap the left thigh around the right the best that you can. Steer the hips back, knees a little to the left, upper body a little to the right. As you sit pretty heavy in that standing right thigh, so you can squeeze down the center. Definitely fix your eyes forward, look at one spot. Keep squeezing the legs super tight. Stay with that. Just unravel your arms to the sky. And then the best that you can, unravel back warrior one. So do the best work that you can to step back into warrior one. Yeah, take your time. You could pitch forward a little with your low back if it's sensitive. So it would look like this a little. If you're okay with straight up and down, totally fine. Steer the left ribs forward, press heavy in the standing right foot, hands to the floor, move through a vinyasa or simply go to a dog. Up dog, hips up and back, down dog. Breathe the left leg up and back, just pause for a second. It feels good to just lift that leg in space, but make sure you're not flinging it. You're lifting from the inner thigh, you're squeezing your right hip in, you're pressing firm through your hands, everything's even. Then come forward to the plank with the foot hovering just an inch, and then hug the left knee in and up, squeeze it in. Arms are straight up and down, scoop out the belly. Look forward with your eyes, land your left foot forward and through. Come to your fingertips, arrange your feet and the leg positioning, and then rise on your breath, high lunge. Good, hip points move forward, arms integrate up towards the sky, your eyes can move up a little. And just breathe. Feel yourself create the shape, nowhere to run to, just be present here. Stay with it. Arm sweep forward, just like you're handing a tray. Wrap your right arm underneath your left. Rather than tugging down, lift the elbows up. Just do this much first, and then focus on that standing left leg and see if you can wrap your right thigh around. Eagle. Steer the knees a little to the right, upper body a little to the left. Get heavy in that standing left leg and sit. Squeeze, squeeze down the center. Look forward with your eyes. Connect to your breath. Keep squeezing those legs very tight. Just unravel your arms to the sky. Pause. And then unleash the right leg. Take a giant step back, warrior one. See if you can find it. You may get there a lot easier than you think. Steer the right side of your body forward. Integrate the arms. Hands to the floor. Move yourself through a vinyasa or opt out if you're just not into all the push-ups and the back bends today. Just go to dog, hold and breathe. Deep breath in. Full dynamic breath out. Look where you want to go. Step or float to the top. Get there light. Long spine, keep your weight forward. Exhale, fold. Sit into your first chair. I've been taking chair for a while with my feet about hips width distance. You can go ahead and try that on. Good. Stick your butt way back. Energize your arms up to the sky. Get heavy in your heels. Look forward. and sit a little deeper. Shoot up to stand up, drag it to prayer, drop your arms. So this is where things heat up a little. Chair pose from the top, sit heavy in your heels, stick your butt way back. Dive over, bent knees, forward fold, let your head go. Come to the fingertips, set it up, step or float through your version of a vinyasa. Adding or subtracting what you need to make this work. From your down dog, the right foot lands, the back foot turns, rise on your breath, warrior one. Back down we go through your vinyasa. Up dog, hips up and back, down dog. Left foot lands, back foot turns, come on up, warrior one. Back down we go through vinyasa. Upward facing point, hips up and back, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in. Take a full breath out. So as we move along here, it's amazing how you start to feel your body, but more importantly, your mind and your breath start to warm up. So just go with it. Look where you want to go. Step or float to the top of the mat. And some days it happens naturally, other days it's more forced. Long spine, weight is forward. Exhale, fold. Sit again into chair. Weight moves into your heels. Press up to stand up. Drag it to prayer at the top and stand for a sec. Here we go. Arms slide straight up towards the sky. Sit heavy in your heels, chair. Stick your butt way back in chair. Yeah. Dive over, bent knees, forward fold. Let it go. You got it, Andy. Long spine sets it up. Step or float through your vinyasa. Just keep it moving. Nothing's perfect. Up dog pulls you through. Hips up and back, down dog. The right foot lands, the back foot turns. You come on your breath, warrior one. Back down we go on our own exhale. Chaturanga if you're moving through that. Up dog, hips up and back, down dog. The left foot lands, the back foot turns, rise, warrior one. Back down we go through vinyasa. Upward facing point, hips up and back. Downward facing is where we meet. Take a breath in. Take a breath out. Look where you want to go. Keep your arms nice and straight. Step or float to the top. Get there light. Long spine. Keep your weight forward. Exhale, fold again. Sit heavy in your heels for solid chair pose. Press up to stand up. Drag it to prayer. Drop your arms. Let's take one more together. Arms straight. Go straight up towards the sky. Heavy in your heels. Let's sit chair. Good. Dive over, bent knees, forward fold. Let the head go. Come to the fingertips to set it up. Step or float through your vinyasa. Up dog pulls you through. Hips up and back, down dog. Right foot lands, back foot turns, warrior one. We just move and groove. Use the blade of your back foot to press down, and then hands make it to the floor through your vinyasa. Up dog is smooth. Hips up and back, down dog. Left foot lands, back foot turns, rise, warrior one. Back down we go. Through your push-ups. You can add an extra one in if you want. Up dog, hips up and back, down dog. So before we move on, drag your right leg up towards the sky, three-legged down dog like we started. Yeah, from your inner thigh. Come forward, hug your right knee in towards your navel, scoop out your belly. Extend the right leg up and back, three-legged down dog, connect. Forward, scoop out your belly, hug it in. Right leg smooth, transitions up and back, three-legged down dog. Hug the right knee in, scoop it out. Step the right foot forward and through, rise on the exhale breath, crescent lunge. Wrap the left arm underneath the right arm, don't yank down, lift the elbows up. Step up into eagle. Do the best you can. It's not meant to be perfect. I'm falling off, flopping all over the place. Steer the knees a little to the left, upper body a little to the right. Get heavy. Good. And then in this eagle, see if you can round yourself up like a little ball into sleeping eagle. Give it a whirl. Elbows will hook over that front knee. Round yourself up and hold. Keep the lower half of the body super squeezed tight, and then lift the torso up nice and high. Unravel the arms towards the sky and slide back, warrior one. See if it feels any better than it did a couple minutes ago. Nice work. Hands to the floor, vinyasa. Upward facing, hips up and back, down dog. Breathe your left leg up and back, three-legged down dog, pause. Keep everything really even and neutral as you do this. Come forward and hug your left knee towards your navel. Arms are nice and straight, scooping out the belly, looking forward a little. Left leg up and back, three-legged down dog. Come forward, scoop out your belly, round your spine. Left leg up and back, three-legged down dog. The slower you move, the more you'll feel. Good. Come forward one more time, hug the knee in, scoop out the belly, look forward a little. Land your left foot forward and through. Rise on your exhale, crescent lunge. It's always amazing to me when we repeat things on the mat, how much better it feels, or at least you tell yourself it feels better. The second go around or the third go around, arms come forward for a sec, wrap the right arm underneath the left, and then see if you can step up as neatly as you can into eagle. Wrap the arms, wrap the legs the best that you can, heavy in that standing heel, and just focus on steering your knees a little to the right. Lift the elbows up. And then if you have it in you today, round yourself up like a little ball. So think sleeping eagle version, elbows hook over the front of the knee and squeeze everything super tight. And this is going to challenge your balance a little, which is what we're looking for. Squeeze the legs a lot here. Lift just the torso. Unravel your arms towards the sky and then slide back, warrior one. Make it a nice clean swoop. Nice job. Hands come down, vinyasa or dog, you pick. Up dog is smooth. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Walk your hands and your feet together so they meet at the center of your mat. So just take it slow and come to the center of your mat. Slide your hands to your hips, come halfway up, and then come the rest of the way up. And what we'll do today is I'm actually going to pivot towards you, and you can pivot to the side too. So if you're no longer facing the camera, or if you want to face the camera, that's fine. Bring your blocks with you. It's good to have them. Right. Bring your feet together or separate them a little. Slide the arms up towards the sky. So all I did is just change the position of my body and then sit into chair. I'm just looking at you. I'm going to face the long direction on the mat because we'll do a little different movement. Hands come to prayer. Inhale your breath. You're going to hook the elbow and twist to the right. And I'm demonstrating this chair twist by a little bit of a separation between my feet. I just feel a lot smoother in the lower back when I do it this way. Make sure the 2 feet, the knees, the shins, the hips, everything are lined up evenly. And then you twist. Look sideways, look up. You can open up your arms if you feel good, or you can just stay as you are. Keep the weight in the heels. Keep moving that energy back so the spine can continue to move forward. And then twist open a little deeper. Strong in your legs, pull around to a solid chair. As you press to stand, float your right leg up towards the sky. It looks like this. Reach down, grab your ankle, and bend it up into a tree. Yeah. Anywhere along the inside of that left leg is fine. And then the branches of your tree move up. Sometimes it feels really good to even have the arms open, so you can play with that at any angle. Some days your balance is just totally rocking you and your hands need to be in prayer. So any of these variations work great. And then your eyes start to move up. Feeling grounded is what you want in this pose, gripping your hips in strong. Float the right foot away from the inner part of that thigh so it looks like this. Yeah. Take the right ankle over that left thigh and sit really, really deep. And as you start to sit, lean out as far as you can as you stick your butt way back. And then you get in there for the ankle to knee. And I'm using these blocks this morning to prop myself up. The goal here is to flex the foot strong around the outside of that left tricep, steer the hips way back and get in there. So I want to feel like my chest is staying open and I'm not dumping down. Heavy in that standing heel. We'll be here for a few breaths. Just focus on one spot and just breathe into whatever you're feeling, whatever tightness. Connect to your breath and just breathe through it. Heavy in the standing heel, hands come to prayer. Start to bring your torso up. Float the right leg up at a 90-degree angle, and then lower it down to the floor and stand. Arms slide straight up towards the sky, heavy in your heels, sit into a chair. Drag your hands to a prayer, inhale your breath. Hook the elbow and twist to the left. The same thing goes here. Steer the hips way back. Look sideways, look up, maybe open up your arms. But most importantly, just keep the alignment in check. Your knees aren't sliding past one another. Your breath is moving through your body. Don't make it so complicated. Just get in there. Chair pose, pull it around. Pressing to stand and floating your left leg up, and then reaching down with your left hand and placing the leg into Vrikasana, tree pose. So you're going to come up into this tree, settle in the best that you can, and then grow your branches. Hug your hips in strong, looking upwards. Stability, foundation. Yeah. Keep the lift of that rib, so everything is lifting up out of your hips, and just float the foot a little bit from that inner thigh. Yeah. Nice work. Cross the ankle over the thigh and continue to sit like you're sitting in a big chair. As you sit, steer your hips back, lean out in front of you, and come forward. Use these blocks. Flex the foot along the outside of that right tricep, steer the hips back. So a lot of times the left hip has to move a little further back. And as you do that, you have to remind yourself to grip your right hip under you. You're heavy in that standing heel. I mean, this is a great stretch. A lot of us are going to be doing a lot of traveling. Like all these things that we're doing in today's practice are great, right? To keeping your low back open and loose and hips and IT band. Yeah. Keep your breath flowing and just feel your body as it starts to open in this hip opener. See if you could do this without letting your foot touch. Bring the hands to prayer. Start to pull the torso up. Do it slow. Keep the hands in prayer. Just swing the left leg around. Flex the foot and then lower it to the floor. And just stand for a second. What I'll have you do is if you have two blocks, you'll take one at the back of the mat, one at the front of the mat. If you only have one, you'll just move it around. If you have none, you'll make do. Separate your feet nice and wide. So you're going to stay facing the same direction. So you need the full length of the mat, guys. Turn the right foot out, open up the arms, and sit into a warrior two. So you're going to find warrior two. When you find warrior two, just from like a basic point of an alignment, make sure that the stance is long enough and wide enough. Yeah, your right foot is forward. Your left back foot is turned on a little angle. Your right knee tracks open. Your side ribs are long, and your tailbone can drop even in between your two hips. And then close your eyes and just hold here for a few breaths. Sit a little heavier. Yeah, reach out, place your hand on the outside of your foot. So the block, you could place them on its highest setting if you want. You can also just rest your arm on your thigh. I don't know how you feel in your hips, your low back. You can pick. Medium setting is also really nice. So find something you know you can hold. Start with the left arm straight up towards the sky before you wrap it up and forward. This doesn't always work so great for me. So check in first before you just go to the next thing, right? Keep swinging your right hip underneath you. turning your bottom ribs, activating your legs. And from the outer blade of your left foot all the way through your left fingertips, you're finding space. Soften the right shoulder wherever you chose to be. A few more breaths, stay with it. Left arm extends up. Slide your hand to your hip. You're going to look down, use the same block, and just pitch forward enough that you can rock into a half moon. Good. And then grow that left arm up if you feel you can. I always like to remind myself, soften behind the right knee so I don't go pitch straight. Yeah. And then grow this as best that you can. If you're dying for something else, then you work on it. Sometimes it feels nice to just be in really basic poses. Just be basic, right? Lift from your inner thigh, flex the foot, and then open up your collarbone and your chest and see if you can look up. Continuously gripping your right hip underneath you. Your right leg is like Tadasana. Smooth transition, triangle pose. So take a giant step back, grab anywhere along the front of your right leg and extend the left leg, left arm up. You can have a block to the outside of your right calf. Yeah, or you can back out of the pose if your lower back is real sensitive, like I'm demonstrating here. My hand's just on the top of my thigh and I'm making it much less dramatic. So decide how this feels for you. You can go as low down towards your ankle, but you want to feel your side ribs really lift. Lean back a little bit. Anchor through your feet, your legs, use your core. 3 more breaths, stay with it. Top arm and top leg pulls you up. As you come up, bring your hands to your hips, pivot your right toes in, interlace your hands behind your back, inhale your breath, squeeze the shoulder blades a little, bend behind your knees, go down the center. Let your head go. If having the bind clasp behind you doesn't feel great, then just release your hands, grab the front of your shins, grab your big toes, have your hands down in between your feet, like I'm demonstrating. Any of these options are great. And then fold. So dropping your head below your heart is really important in this practice, creating that inversion. Come halfway up, release any binds that you have. Bring your fingertips directly underneath your shoulders. Slide your hands to your hips. Come the rest of the way up. If you only had one block, move it with you. So all you're going to do is pivot your left toes out towards the front edge of the mat. The back right toes turn in. Open up your arms and then sit into warrior 2. So find your warrior 2. So it's nice when you turn towards the camera in this direction, you can see yourself. Well, I don't know how your camera was set actually. Yes. But big enough, long enough stance, tailbone drops, and then arms spread open. Not holding you here for too long, at least in my sense, not too long. So just breathe here, 5 breaths. Allow yourself to just feel. Don't run away from the feeling, the sensation of the muscles beginning to activate. Breathe. Reach out, slide your hand to the outside of the foot or your arm to the top of the thigh. You pick, right arm stretches up or comes up and forward. This is extended side angle A. Wrap your inner thigh open. Make sure the outside of the left leg and the inside of the left arm are connected. Turn the bottom ribs and scoop up that left hip. Press strong through that right leg. So you're creating this illusion of a bow and arrow. Couple more breaths. Right arm slides up, slide your hand to your hip, look down, and seamlessly move your weight forward, half moon. Just move nice and slow as you step up. Grip the left hip under, and then stack it up. And grow the pose how you feel you need today. Some days you got to go in and you want to work on balance or back bends. For me today, it just feels nice to be in this basic pose where I'm spreading open. Lift from the inner thigh and stack it up. Make sure the block is out in front of you enough that you're not overreaching, but you're stacked up. Grip the left hip under, keep the left foot forward. Think standing leg is like mountain pose, Tadasana. So the transition is its own little thing. So you got to step back slow, do it really slow and see if you can find triangle pose. Use the block if you need. Yep, come out of the pose if it's not working for you today. It can be like this. Yes, nobody said you need to be down low. Just create a shape in your body with your legs, your side ribs. Lean back a little, anchor through your inner and outer thighs. Couple more. So patience in the posture is a hard thing. Eyes go to the floor, circle the hands down, step to a down dog. Roll forward to plank. Lean on your right hand, find Vashisthasana side plank. I stagger the feet. You can also drop the bottom knee like I'm demonstrating here. You can do it with the leg lift or the foot grounded. Anything works, but keep your hips stacked. Bottom right arm is really hugging in. Left arm extends up. It can also come up and forward if you want to work your obliques a little more. Plank position, pause. Lean on your left hand. The hand has to come out a smidgen in front of that shoulder, and then find Vashisthasana side plank. Find something you know you can maintain. You're not struggling to be in or you hate it, right? Lift through that bottom hip to the top hip. Look up towards the sky. One more big breath in. Lift a little higher. Plank position. Add a push up if you want. Add the up dog or the back bend, any version. Hips up and back, down dog. Step your right foot forward, crescent lunge, rise. Drag your hands to prayer, lean out, hook the elbow and twist. Good. If lower back is sensitive, feel free to stay upright. Drop your left hand to the instep of the foot for more like an easy twist. So many different ways that you can kind of mimic this pose to create it, right? Lean back a little bit, get the crown of the head to line up with your back heel. Grip the right hip in super strong. You're not clenching the mat. You're not clenching your breath. You're breathing yourself open here. 3 more. Hands to the floor. Step your left foot in enough that you can really anchor it. Bring your hands to your hips, come halfway up, then come the rest of the way up. Set up for twisting triangle. You may need to slide your foot a little forward or a little back or a little sideways. Right hand to hip, left arm extends up. You're gonna come halfway down, steer the hips back, and then I always reach for a block. I place it to the instep of the hip, instep of the foot, sorry. Right hand to the flat part of the back. Anchor the legs and the feet, and then you peel open. So I find if the hand isn't elevated, then you just dump down. Back leg is super engaged. Front leg can have a little bend to it. Feel like someone's got you by your hips and they're steering you back. Grip the outer hips in. Lean back a tiny bit and twist open. Right hand to the floor. Move the block forward. Step to a down dog. From this down dog, just glide your left foot forward, crescent lunge, bring it up. Come up with control, feel what you're doing. Finally stopped raining. Drag your hands to prayer, lean out, hook the elbow and twist. So you want to get in there as much as you need to get in there for this posture. Create the shape in the legs, grip the outer hip in, get the crown of the head to line up with that back heel. Spine stays super long. Activate your back leg. So you want to really feel like you're charged up in the lower half of the body so that you can really twist in a safe way. Soften the shoulders, soften the face, stay with it. One more big breath in. Lean back, twist open. Hands to frame your front foot. Step your back foot in enough that the foot really grounds. Bring your hands to your hips, come halfway up, come the rest of the way up. Arrange the stance so it works for you. Left hand on your hip, right arm extends up. Come halfway down, steer the hips back. Definitely reach out for the block, set it up here, hand down, and then slide your left hand to the flat part of your back. And let's set it up. Let's peel open into twisting triangle. So I find when you do this posture, the goal is to really feel grounded. It should feel successful. Right, soften the right shoulder and breathe yourself open here. So if you do the proper warm up, which we've done, this should really feel like a nice hamstring opener, a nice release of the core, a nice twist through that upper chest. And you should feel very grounded and confident that you're doing this okay. That's great. Keep leaning the crown of the head a little bit more forward and then back. Stay 2 more breaths. Good work. Bring both hands down and just step to a dog. Just step to a dog. And then when you get to dog, drop your forearms down for a dolphin pose. Walk your elbows in a little closer, and this morning interlace your hands. Yeah. And then tighten up the stance if you can. Scoop up the belly. Let the head just be free. So it's not a headstand. You're really working your traps. You're working your core. Good. If you want, breathe your right leg up from your inner thigh. Keep pressing down. Lower the right foot with control. Breathe your left leg up. Keep squeezing your right hip in. Lift from the inner thigh, press down. Lower the left foot. Stay lifted nice and high. Drop to your knees. Child's pose with your arms back. Grab the arches of your feet. Let your head melt. Relax the shoulders and the jaw. Slide your arms forward. Anchor your hands. Curl your toes. Lift your hips. Down dog. Roll forward plank. Halfway to a push-up. Up dog or cobra. Hips up and back. Down dog. Land your right knee forward. Find a half pigeon here. Yeah. And melt yourself for the next 60 seconds on each side. Just like let your head check out. Let your body just do what it needs to do in this pose. Stay drop longer. Yeah, see if you can let your right hip just kind of melt and your left thigh bone get a little closer to the ground. We don't always have the opportunity to really be in this, so let's stay a drop longer today. Downward facing dog. Swing your left leg forward, half pigeon. And just melt. Let yourself float down towards the ground, the right thigh down, the left hip melts. A little longer. It's okay to feel the quiet and just your breath moving through your body right here. Use the strength of your body, start to come up, lean onto the left side, swing your right leg around. Take your feet so they're flat to the floor like this. Move the block with you. Good. Lay down on your backs. Reach your arms forward and lift your shoulders up like a little Pilates roll up. Good. Scoop up the lower back. Keep the lower back pressing down, the shoulders lifting. You can always have your hands behind your head too if this doesn't feel good. Lift your legs at an angle that works. Keep the lift of the upper shoulders though. Lower the legs back down. Lift yourself up higher. Exhale, let it go. So just a few like this. Pull yourself up at any angle that works for you. Lift your legs on an angle that works. Straight up and down is going to be a little easier on the low back. Rebend your legs. Lift yourself up higher. Exhale, let it go. A couple more. Pull yourself up. Lift your legs on an angle. Rebend. Take the feet flat. Lift higher. Like really lift higher. Exhale, let it go. Two more. Pull yourself up. Lift your legs on an angle that works. Rebend. Lift higher. Exhale, let it go. Again, pull yourself up. Lift your legs on an angle. Rebend, get the feet flat. Lift higher. Exhale, let it go. Take your block if you're going to go into bridge, supported bridge, or legs up. Slide the block underneath your low back at any angle that works for you. Take bridge to start. Scoop up the shoulders or supported bridge like I'm demonstrating here. And then when you're ready, you can lift the legs up towards the sky. You can clasp your hands around the block to create that back bend. For some reason you wanted to go to a full wheel, this would be the opportunity to go up. If not, we're just going to stay a little more mellow. Yeah. So having the legs straight up and down, really important. The knees can have a bend to them, but you want to make sure your ankles are directly over your hips. Yeah. Bend the legs in half, take the feet flat to the floor. Keep the block underneath because we started like that. Yeah. And if the block is high, I just want you to bring it, drop it back down so it's low like we started. Yeah. So keep the left leg bent and hug your right knee in like we started. And then extend your right leg up towards the sky. Yeah. Let the shoulders drop down the back and let your leg fall into your hands. It's a great way to release the hamstring. Rebend that right leg, squeeze it in nice and tight. Lower it down. And let's try the other side. Just give that leg a little squeeze. So the block underneath just gives you a little lift, a little support, and then extend the leg up and release the hamstring. Let the thigh kind of drop into those clasped hands and the shoulders draw down the back. Think about alignment. Hug the knee and give it one last little squeeze. Good, lower it down. Lift the hips, remove the block. Happy baby, grab the outer arches of your feet. Pull the knees down around the ribs. Good, come to center. One last thing, wrap your right thigh around. Lift your hips up enough to drop your knees over to the left. So just like a half eagle with your legs. And then rinse it out. Good, roll to center. Unravel, wrap the left thigh around the right thigh and drop your knees over. Come up to center, just unravel everything. Give yourself one last big squeeze in. And then float into Shavasana. If you have 2 blocks, slide them underneath your thighs. Yeah, so it would look like this. And then really lift your hips up, let your pelvis just drop, turn the palms open, and let yourself just fall into the ground. Yeah, and really important, the next 2 minutes, just be still, because this is where your central nervous system just starts to come back down. Take a deep breath in and a really loud, full exhale breath out. Draw your arms up over the top of your head, interlace your hands, flip the palms, and like wiggle yourself back. And then wrap those clasped arms and hands around your thighs and give yourself a solid squeeze in. Come up to a seated position if and when you're ready and sit up nice and tall. Let the shoulders draw down the back. Let the hands come to a prayer. Just bow your head for a second. Feel the effects of the practice that every time you come to your mat, it's unique because you never know what you're going to get, how you're going to feel. Lift your head, open your eyes. Namaste. Mission accomplished, guys. Go out there, have a nice afternoon. The rain has stopped here, and I'm going to try for Wednesday of next week. So stay tuned.